Hello, everyone. I can't believe that it is already the end of the year, that I am doing a 2022 recap already. It feels like, I don't know, like it's weird. It feels like the year just started, but then I'm also like, so much has happened this year that, oh my gosh, like January to now, so many changes. And I just want to say I'm so thankful for the good, the bad, the in between that has happened this year because the growth, the personal growth has been absolutely amazing. And although it wasn't necessarily a very beautiful journey all throughout, I am happy for the person that I am today. And I'm thankful for you guys. I know I haven't been the most consistent in posting, but I'm so grateful for everybody who watches and supports and the little community that we have going here. So come along with me as I kind of go through my year month by month and just talk about all the highlights, the lowlights, and some of the major lessons that I learned. All right, so January, I started out my year in Jamaica. I had just moved back with my family and I was in a big limbo as to what it is that I wanted to do. I felt so unsettled within my spirit, and I was just like, I didn't know where I wanted to be, literally, physically, emotionally, mentally. I was going through so much that I wasn't talking about at the time, and I just felt like I was so confused, and I had these voices, from every direction telling me what it is that was best for me, what it is that I needed to do, sorry, what decisions I needed to make. I was also in school. Like, that to me is crazy. Like, I can't, like, I was in school. I feel like every time I'm in school, my life is a hot mess. But I was in school, I was in I was back home, and I was just so confused. And I didn't start my year off good, not because the things around me weren't good, but internally I was in so much turmoil, and it affected a lot of my relationships. It affected my relationship with my family a lot because I was just so unsettled and I didn't know where I wanted to be. Then February hit. I was still in Jamaica, and not bad. I was still in Jamaica at the time, and February is my birth month. So I hit 24, and I remember I was a little bit more optimistic. I was a little, I was getting more settled in being in Jamaica. And I remember I went to a hotel for my birthday. There's a vlog for that if you want to go and watch it after this video. But I went away and I really enjoyed it. But at that time, I think, I had decided, I was coming back to Canada, and it was just a matter of, figuring out when, getting all the paperwork and stuff sorted out. This was also like, COVID was still a very big thing at this point. But at the same time, and I recognize that now, I was listening to a lot of voices except my own. And so even though in February it's just like, you know what, I have a date in March that I'm going to go back to Canada, I still was so like, is this what I want? Do I have a plan? Am I like, it was still so unsettling. And I just, looking back now, and I trust that everything happened in God's timing. But if I'm being honest, I probably, with the knowledge that I have now, I would have stayed in Jamaica longer than I did. And that's big for me to admit because there's a lot of backstories. And then March came around and I decided, I was going to come back to Canada March 14th. I didn't have a place to stay. I had sold my car. I didn't have a job coming to. It was just, again, not something, and I recognize this now that I thought through enough. I didn't recognize or want to even accept the fact that maybe this isn't the best decision. And I realized that I was unhappy internally. I was unsettled internally. So no matter where I was physically, until I dealt with that internal struggle, it didn't matter. So when I moved back, I moved back March 14th, and I stayed with friends, and I'm so thankful that they gave me a space and they gave me, that support that I needed then. And, I am forever grateful to them because I know I am where I am because they were a very big part of my journey at that point in time. So I moved back. I was still, It was very hard. I've never lived without my family ever. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm moving to a different city. I was moving to a whole different country. And that was a huge change. And it was very hard for myself and my family. But there's a part of me that knew, even though the timing, now that I look back, I know it wasn't the best timing. There were things that I needed to work on, that I had to have the space to work on them. And sometimes, not that my family isn't super supportive and loving, because they love me, but sometimes you need to step away a little bit to kind of grow into yourself and to really, again, quiet the voices around you and figure it out. So March, moved back, quarantined, spent a lot of time inside just trying to plan and figure out what it is that I wanted to do. Very uncertain, because I was also, relationships was a big thing for me in my life at that time, and I was navigating, and I was recognizing that, some of the relationships I was in was not very healthy, and it was really taking a toll on me. So March, then April, I started therapy. Oh my gosh, that was the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. I started therapy because my mental health was just going downhill. I was recognizing again how toxic certain relationships were for me, and just that, not that the person was toxic, but it just wasn't right. Okay, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. So I started therapy, so April, and it was so hard but so good at the same time. It was one of the most difficult things that I had to do, and just be vulnerable with myself and tell this person my inner thoughts. It was difficult, but I wish I had done therapy sooner. But again, I know, that timing was what I needed then. So where are we? April, May, I started working. I started, the job that I'm in right now, and it was just honestly a godsend. I loved, it's actually a place that I worked when I was in university. I did my placement there, and then I got hired there in May, and it started off rocky. Unfortunately, I was working with somebody, and it things happen, but it started off rocky. But the more I settled in, and the more I learned to love the people, let me tell you something, God places the right people in your life. Because I don't know where I would be without my coworkers and my supervisor. Because as somebody who didn't grow up with the most positive and constant, I don't even know how to word it. I didn't have very constant positive male figures in my life growing up. And my supervisor has been such a great, big brother to me. And even though, again, I started in May, this is now December, so we haven't been working together that long, but the support and the advice and the upliftment, just amazing. And just my coworkers being the most phenomenal people ever in the world. So thankful for them. So that was May. I'm very excited to start working. And then I think in June, again, I'm going through therapy this whole time. And so in June, me and my therapist had a really good talk, and she's just like, I think you need to move out on your own. Oh, I also bought my car in June. I want to say it was in June or in May. But her name's Lucy, and I love her. But at that point, around June, mid to late June, my little sister was coming up to visit in July, and my therapist was just like, you need your own space to continue to heal, to continue to grow. And again, was super thankful for my friends for letting me stay with them. But at that point, I knew that for my own well-being, I needed my own spot. I needed somewhere that I would be able to really spend time with myself, that I'd be able to really just express my emotions just by myself, and just create the space that I needed to heal. So July, I ended up was it mid-June that I got a place? It was mid-June. And then I officially moved in that first week of July. And then throughout July, I was moving my things and slowly ordering things as I didn't have furniture. And slowly was starting to make this place my home. My sister was here, which was absolutely amazing. I had missed her terribly. So it was good to have that feel of home here. Also went and saw Coffee. I freaking love Coffee. Let me tell you something. Where will we go? When a quarantine thing, don't let everybody touch road. I love Coffee. My favorite song from her is Lonely. If you've never heard it, go and listen to it because it's the best thing you'll ever hear in your life. And if you don't like her, you can keep those opinions to yourself because they're invalid. I'm kidding. Everybody's opinion is valid. But that was a gift from one of my best friends, and I needed that night. And then August again, my sister went back to Jamaica because she had to prepare for school. And that was another time where I took a lot of time to myself to just hear my thoughts, feel my feelings, and figure out what it is that I needed to do. September, what did I do in September? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think my best, I don't remember September. I feel like I have to go through pictures to figure out what I did in September. I think that's a good thing with taking pictures, and I take a lot of pictures because it helps me to remember. Oh, August was such a good month. I spent a lot of time with my friend Abby and my little sister and my other best friend Janine too. And then what did I do September? Oh, okay. So September, I was trying to work on my business a lot. I remember that. Oh, it's very zoomed in now. I went out a lot. It was my best friend's birthday, so I remember we went out for her birthday. It was a good month, I think, overall. I was happy in September. I remember that. I was really happy, and I was communicating a lot more with my family. And it was a good month. I was happy in September. I went to, no, that was October. Went to this wedding in October. I didn't know it. I helped. I worked it, again, with one of my good friends. But October was also a good month. I spent a lot of time going back to church. And just, I don't know, surrounded by friends and family, especially we had Thanksgiving. And one of my friends was moving away, so I spent time with him. I got to see him before he left, which was really nice. And it was good. Again, like so summer, ending of summer was great with my little sister and my friends. And then it was very fast paced because it was summer going out. And then September, October was very paced, but it was good. It was slowing down, but it was very good for me. And I was able to really start looking at who I am, the changes I've made throughout this year, the things that I want to accomplish for next year, and just to really reflect. So that was really good. I'm going to continue looking through my photos to make sure I'm not missing anything. And then in October, my best friend and I went to, we went away to Brantford just for a little weekend getaway, and it was really good. We went to a pumpkin patch, we went swimming. I almost drowned in water that I could stand in, but that's okay. So October, ending of October, I put myself out there in the dating world. Oh, so Hinge was where I decided to start, okay? Because I like the layout of Hinge. And I met this one guy, and I feel like I need to do a whole different story, a whole different video about this story. But I had high hopes. He was sweet. And then he wasn't sweet anymore, and that ended. And then I went on 2 dates with him, or 3. I can't remember. But we talked for quite a while. And then who else? I think I only went on 2 dates physically. Like I just don't have the energy to be just going out with random people. So I would talk to people for a little bit before going out with them. My friend came and visited in July. I can't believe I forgot that. End of June to July, my friend came and visited me, which I really appreciated. But back to October. Dating, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot about myself and what it is that I'm looking for and how it is that I want to go about dating. But I will do a whole different video about what it is to step into the world of online dating in the city as a young woman. Because let me tell you, it ain't easy. So that led into November. I was putting myself out there dating and doing all of that, and that came to an end in late November. And then December, I was going back home. I was going to visit my family, which I did. I spent 16 lovely days there. I went out with my coworkers. Oh my gosh, that was life-changing. We did We went to some restaurants, we went to a bar, and then we went karaokeing, which I've never been, like, at an official place. My cousin also was visiting in December, and we went to the aquarium, and I got to really hang out and connect with her. And that I really enjoyed that. It was so good, you know. And she's one of those cousins that I don't see a lot. But we got to really connect, and it was just great. And then yeah, I went to Jamaica. It was the most amazing 2 weeks of my life. It made me realize just how much I miss, appreciate, and love my family. They are literally the most beautiful people in the world, and I love them so much. And now, you know, I'm back. I'm recording this on the 31st, so tomorrow is officially January 1st, 2023. And there's so many things happening that I don't want to talk about yet. I just, you know, you guys will see in the new year, but I'm going to be a lot more consistent on YouTube. And I know I say that a lot, but we're going to be real. And then we're going to be real. We're really going to do it. And then my business, which if you aren't following, make sure you follow on Instagram. I'll be launching some very exciting things in the new year. But again, I'm just so thankful for this year and the lessons and all that it has brought. And 2022 was a roller coaster. It was the longest, shortest year in my life. And I'm just so thankful that I've been through it, that I went through it with the people that I did, and that I'll be moving forward a stronger and more confident woman. And I'm just so excited for all that 2023 will bring. And I hope that you guys had a good year, or that even if it wasn't the greatest of years, you were able to find lessons in it. And I wish you all a happy, happy new year.